The truth is out there and we're always trying to find it. Strange ghostly apparitions, angry hairy creatures at night, or finding a forest full of missing persons listings. Stay tuned and we'll look at each. The video we are looking at is a CCTV footage from a store. Even from the start, things seemed to look strange. The footage of the supermarket was quiet and still, until it wasn't. That's about when I developed the knot in my stomach. Suddenly, fruits went dropping off the shelves, basket trolleys rolled, and doors started shaking violently. It was almost as if the entity was a child, playing and rolling the oranges around innocently. Whatever it was didn't seem too aggressive. In fact, it seemed rather playful, like it was happy to have the run of the place. The shadow at the end, however, was a little too sinister for comfort. I always find CCTV footage like this intriguing. It does not appear to be tampered with in any way. The pixels are clear. I definitely can't find any rational interpretation for the events. In the first video, we can see the strange thing a man found on his trail cam recording. In the middle of the forest at night, a strange clown suddenly appeared in front of the trail camera. The camera was set up in the middle of the forest where no human should have been, especially not a creepy looking clown. Even more scary, he seems to be holding something resembling a knife. And as creepy as this one is, such sightings appear to be becoming more and more frequent. There are many sightings of people dressed in clowns running after people or cars in order to give them a scare. Many do it just for fun and adrenaline, but if you ask me, I think it is just plain dangerous for both sides. But what do you think? Would such sightings scare you? It's the middle of the night on a deserted road. There are no lights save for the headlights of your vehicle. You can see something odd and out of place coming up in the distance. This driver was pragmatic in this event and managed to get whatever it was on the camera. Given how many accounts there are of people seeing ghosts, specters and other such anomalies on the side of the road, I am inclined to trust this source. There have been plenty of stories of spirits that have supposedly ridden in people's cars, only to disappear once they arrive their destination. The driver of this video can be grateful for their supposedly mild experience. This video is from a police officer's bodycam who was called to investigate the house for any intruders, as reported by the neighbors. They hear loud bangs in the house and start to investigate every room to find the source. As the officer goes upstairs, he sees the door to the room open and thinks he's seeing someone.
Anyone inside, make yourself known.
The door opens and he proceeds towards it, but he cannot find anyone in the room and decides to leave. As he is going downstairs, this happens. The officer thinks he's heard something and goes back to check, but can't find anyone again. The police officers, now scared to the bone and having no idea what is going on, decide not to check the house any further and just leave. What do you think was that? Was someone hiding in the house and the police officers missed them? Or was there something more sinister going on there? This video was recorded by a man who noticed something outside his window. Between the trees, a pair of eyes can be seen watching him, the gaze pointing directly to him.
The is that in the woods?
We could say it is a predator watching from the forest, which by itself would be terrifying enough. But what is more terrifying is that the eyes seem red. Be it truly a predator in the woods or just some distant lights that lined up perfectly, it would still be a terrifying thing to see at night, right before you wanna go to bed. This lady is babysitting at a new place and she found something truly disturbing in the house.
Guys, I'm babysitting and I just found the creepiest thing. Look at this.
All throughout the house, there appeared to be creepy dolls turned with their face towards the wall, as if they are playing hide and seek. What makes it even creepier is the fact that the dolls are dressed similarly as you would dress a child. And upon touching the dolls, It also seems that the hair is real. But the girl doll is not the only one. In the kitchen there is also another doll, but that of a boy. Similarly, just as well dressed as the girl. For anyone wondering what the heck are these, from what I found on the internet, these are called timeout dolls and are usually used as decor. But personally, I'm not sure who would want to use these as decor for their house. After spending plenty of time with the dolls, she wanted to make fun of the position the dolls are in. But just as she places herself in a similar position, we can see something in the mirror. The figure of a girl can be seen passing, going into another room. And you might say it is normal since she is babysitting, but the kid she is staying with is actually a boy, not a girl. And in the mirror we can clearly see long hair. But that was not all. Later in the night, things started becoming creepier and creepier. She started thinking that the dolls moved, or that the TV turned on by itself. And seeing how things are becoming creepier, she goes to check on Max, the boy she is babysitting. At this point she is terrified and she calls out to Max. The lights no longer working. And we can hear a bell. The same bell that was attached to one of the dolls. At this point the recording stops, and I did some digging around because I really wanted to find out what happened. But what I found is that apparently this recording is actually all fake. Sophie Clayton made this as a short horror movie, and there is actually a jump scare at the end.
I am sure many of you know about this video that made Bigfoot famous, but thanks to our improving technology, we now have an improved version of that original footage. In this version, we can see more clearly Bigfoot and its movement. It all seems natural, not some fake costume. It does look real. The creature looks even scarier when we can clearly see how big, but still fast it can be. I wish we'd have more clear videos such as this one, but as you will see later in this video, we actually received a clear image showing this creature again. But what are your thoughts on Bigfoot? Do you think it actually exists? I found this picture on the internet and I'm not sure what to make of it. Is it real from a trail camera, or is this picture an attempt at some special effects and CGI? I can't put my finger on exactly why I don't buy the image, so I am leaning towards it being a fake. There just happened to be a camera in this creature's path, and the creature just happened to snarl viciously while passing it. Following this, that body looks like a super toned gym result, and the head looks like a side road costume shop purchase. The actual pasting of the creature on the film strip is shoddy at best. The halo around the beast has been excessively blurred. I'm not surprised that the picture has dropped on social media as a frozen frame rather than its original media. Probably because there is no original media, save for a peaceful footage of a forest road. But what do you think? Do you think this is some kind of Bigfoot monster, or is it just a fake? If the music in this video wasn't enough to give you the chills, the shadow nonchalantly strolling across the street definitely should. The shadow very clearly walks from one side of the street to the other, unaware of the oncoming traffic. In fact, the shadow, not sure if we should instead call it a ghost, seems to be ignoring the cars driving down the road, as it walks straight through them. There is the possibility that the CCTV footage has been spliced and intertwined, but irrespective, the shadow is definitely not fully human. What do you think this is? The third video is a lot more real. We can see a hiker face to face with a mountain lion. He's trying to fend off the animal and has to keep his cool for a long time. He's trying to scream at the animal to scare it. But it does not seem to work as the animal keeps coming closer and closer. I have no idea how he kept so calm in all this, especially when the mountain lion seemed ready to attack.
Go! 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 No! No!
It is really strange for a mountain lion to act this way, as they usually are more afraid of humans and attacks happen very rarely. There's been only about 126 attacks in North America in the past 100 years. But thankfully, because he managed to keep his calm despite the situation, he managed in the end to scare it off.
Yeah, get the away from me. Face.
For some reason, this guy has a recording device installed next to his bed at night. And this is perhaps because of something that happened to him, similar to what we are about to see. As he is sleeping peacefully through the night, the curtains from his window open by themselves, and we could have attributed this to wind, if not for the thing we are about to see. If we are paying close attention to the window, we can see that something has come next to it and is looking into the house. Just a few seconds after that, we can see a sudden flickering of the camera and the vanishing of the thing we saw in the window, as if it had entered the house. We can then see the blanket being pulled away from the man, and I am sure when the man looked at this recording, he was thankful he slept through all that. But I believe he also most likely immediately started looking for another place to stay at. This camera recorded something truly bizarre. We can see something resembling a naked human running around on all four. The body and especially the limbs do seem to be of a human, perhaps a woman or a skinny man. The unnatural movements, however, makes me wonder what exactly is that. Many people claim this is the famous skinwalker, known from the Navajo culture as being a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into an animal. But what do you think? Is this a skinwalker, or are we just dealing with a man who took the wrong amount of a substance? Following the previous video where the owner said he was sure there are multiple Bigfoots, I have found this picture which seems to be from a motion detection trail camera. It seems to have been activated by the movement of these strange four figures. I suppose they were moving rather quickly since the picture is all blurry. But even from this we can make up some strange characteristics of these figures. They do seem rather large, no clothes, but very hairy. This would be the exact description of the Bigfoot, but what is strange is that there are four of them. And I personally always have thought of Bigfoot as a single entity, but it seems this is not the case. So is Bigfoot a species rather than an individual? What do you think? This video made me feel good about the country I'm living in, being thankful I will never have to encounter such a monster. We can see a man in a garden pointing the camera to a sewer, and only after 1 or 2 seconds you can immediately tell exactly why he decided to record that. From the sewer tunnel you can see two big menacing eyes glaring at him. I don't know how he can continue to look at the alligator being so close. I know for sure that I would be running immediately as far away as possible upon seeing that dinosaur looking at me. The owner claims that what we see is exactly what it looks like. Ironically, I struggled to figure out initially what I was looking at. Was it one snake or two entwined? The videographer has definite drama potential. Imagine if the snakes decided to come down at night while the guy was sleeping. What would you do in this situation? I'd be down the road and around the corner on the phone with some kind of exterminator. And even after that, I would not sleep in that house until the entire ceiling and roof had been thoroughly examined. Two snakes could very probably mean many eggs. Watch how a ceiling full of snakes shows like in this other video. I was okay until the ceiling caved in. Those snakes were insanely big. Imagine what they could have done if they caught a kid in that house. This first video is interesting given the dark woods and eerie silence. The creature, if it is indeed something, does seem to resemble the image we all have of Bigfoot. Big, hairy and ape-like. However, the video has been edited. The camera is positioned down to look up, making things appear bigger, and the fact that the recording is also slowed down give the figure's steps a lot more weight, seeming bigger and heavier than it actually is. So I'm not sure if this is truly Bigfoot or just a person who tried really hard to create a video of a Bigfoot. But here's another one that perplexes me. So often when Bigfoot is sighted, he appears to be in broad daylight and out in the open. Bigfoot is supposed to be hidden, but here he is waltzing around on top of a mountain. While I warrant that the being spotted by one of the lakes in Mission, British Columbia is large, it is conceivable that it could be a large man. I can understand how the hikers thought that they had caught something, but I am not sure they found Bigfoot. What do you think? Do you disagree with my thoughts?
Okay, we're deep in the woods, sort of. We're like on the border, because like there's a side of the woods where there's people's houses. But I came to a trail that led to a trail that led to a trail.
The next video is of a guy recording his walk in the forest, because he previously found something truly scary. In a certain spot in the forest, there are many posters of missing people. What is weird is that this is not a place that people frequent, so there would be no point in placing them here. The guy alerted the police, who started an investigation immediately, that actually found out why the posters are there. Apparently, some guy who owns the land had a Halloween party there and used them as decorations in order to scare his guests. But even for a Halloween party, this seems a bit too much. The posters are not of random persons. These are actually real people who've gone missing. For example, the poster of Tara Grinstead. She was a history teacher who actually went missing in 2005 and was declared dead in 2010. Would you think it's acceptable to have such posters as decorations? What would their families think? Besides the wind rusting the trees, all seems peaceful in this park, until we see the shadow. And for some time it seems that is all there is. However, the CCTV footage then begins to pick up more. The creature does seem to appear like a bear. Its movements do seem out of character for a bear, however. We can see a close-up on its face, and it does seem to look weird, like a werewolf. And later on, an image also surfaced on the internet, claiming to be what we saw in the video. You can contradict me on this one, but I think rather than a werewolf, it is a long decaying animal, perhaps a bear or a wolf. And whatever the animal seems to be, the fact that it decays alone and forgotten seems rather sad to me. Also, given its state of decay, it is easy to see how it could be seen as a werewolf. But the naked thin hind legs do seem that they could be part of a man rather than of an animal, while the face is clearly animal-like. So what is it? What are we looking at? Is it a decaying animal or a werewolf? This was filmed through the door. You never see his hands, always behind his back, which could mean that he is holding something, perhaps a weapon. And this was for sure a close call for the family. Imagine if they did not close the door in time. This third video shows the perspective of a man and its horse close to something that terrified both of them, the horse especially sounding scared. The man heard some strange noises in the forest and started recording in the hopes that he would have something to impress his friends. He soon spots something behind a tree, trying to hide from his view. As he zooms in on the tree, we can quickly see a figure with a strange grey head peeking at him, but quickly going back into hiding. The horseman quickly left the place, as he was not sure what to expect of this encounter. So what did he see? Was that some sort of alien, the rake, or just someone playing a prank on us? The development of the Maya train has built both excitement and controversy. During its development, a number of anomalies have been both spotted and experienced, and the president of Mexico shared his mystical creature sightings. This photo is a stone depiction of Alux, a mythical and imp-like creature. They are believed to be guardians of forests, woods, and other natural environments. And this one is a photographed sighting of a strange and small creature high in a tree, and people believed that this creature could be an Alux. An Alux standing by and guarding its territory as it slowly destroyed to make way for the new train. The glowing eyes is a frightening sight, but remains a fierce and loyal adversary to the technological development. In this video we can see someone driving through the night, as everything is recorded from an onboard camera. The situation itself is scary enough. Imagine having to drive a motorcycle through the night in a place such as this one, with no sign of civilization, no lights and nobody else on the road. As he is driving, at some point we can start seeing something in the distance. A white figure appears close to the edge of the road. For some reason, the driver continues to drive past it, and we can see that the figure appears to be a woman dressed in a white robe. I don't know if the driver should have stopped to make sure it isn't a person who actually needs help, but given the circumstances and how scary everything seemed to be, I think I would have continued to drive as well. This is footage from a South American hospital, and it has been getting a lot of attention because of how bizarre the clip is. What you will see is happening at night, when not many people would be visiting. The guard takes out a clipboard and removes the barrier, while continuing to look into a single direction. He seems to be writing something down, while also clearly pointing and seeming to discuss something. He points down the hallway as indicating something to someone, even though no one is there with him. From another camera we can see the guard heading for a wheelchair and presenting it as if waiting for someone to sit on it. He proceeds to push down the hallway the empty wheelchair, but then quickly returns. In the morning, upon being asked what happened during that night, the guard said that around 3 AM an elderly woman entered the lobby, claiming to have left something in her room, room 915. He did his duty and wrote down her name and the purpose of the visit. He offered her a wheelchair to help her head to the room, but apparently he was rejected by the woman. He continues and says that after a while, noticing the woman has not returned, he called the ward to check, but was told that no one visited the ward. And when discussing with the other staff, he gave the details of the woman and was told that the woman staying in room 915 died on that night, a few hours before. So what really happened here? Is this just a story? And if that is the case, then why did the guard react like this? Why was he pointing and talking to someone that was clearly not there? This short clip is from Scotland, from a camera that was set up to film some animals from that area. The original clip was much longer, but this bit that you are seeing is perhaps the most intriguing part. In this clip we can notice something strange happening in the trees on the left, so pay close attention to that area. At first there is nothing going on, just water rolling downstream. But suddenly we can start to see some weird movement on the left. I know it can be hard to see, so here is what can be seen when we zoom in. There is some strange ghostly figure there, next to the trees. I don't know if this is a glitch of the camera, but it does look strange, and as I said, the clip was longer and this anomaly could not be seen before. If anyone knows what is that, let me know in the comments. In our first video, a motion-activated night vision camera in Sydney, Australia, picked up some intriguing movement. The camera was triggered by a motion in the bottom left side of the frame, and although there is plenty of leaves and bush blowing in the wind, the object seems to be of significant size. The video claims to be unedited at first, and there's for sure something present, but it isn't clear what. Two large eyes can be seen, as well as a huge head that appears to be looking around. Even when the video is edited and cleaned up a bit, there is no real clarification at what we're looking at exactly. It does look spooky, however, like a ghostly apparition, which also seems to be moving its head at some point in the video. So what are we looking at? What did trigger the motion detector? Is it a ghost, an alien, or just some kind of animal that was hiding from the camera? This video was taken by a person who was exploring the forest of Amherst, and they were extremely surprised, if not terrified, by what they found.
a structure made of branches in the middle of the forest. At first look, you could say that it was made by kids trying to play, or by a person who got lost in the woods and needed a shelter for the night. But when the person recording the video got closer, they saw different small twigs tied up in different formations, as if trying to create strange symbols out of them. And what is scarier, at the end of the video, the person recording also spots a person running away in the woods, but they decide not to pursue. What I have to say about this video is that Amherst has been known for rituals and weird sightings, so I am inclined to think that this might be the doing of a person who believes in all that. But what do you think? What was all that?